Okay, welcome back to the channel. So today it's going to be something different. We're not going to work on the shovel today. I did want to do a video on this bike I went to look at for next winter's project. You saw a very brief, maybe a half-second picture of it in the last video. Now you have to, wait till the end of the video to see if I bought this bike or not. So anyway, let's take a look at this bike that I looked at. And it's up on the screen, and we'll just take a quick look, and I'll tell you about this bike, whether it's a good or a bad bike to do a restoration of, the cost of it, and what I did about this bike in the end. Okay, so if you look at this bike is a 93 FLH PP. So it's a police bike. Yeah, I've always wanted to do a restoration of a police bike. So this bike showed up on Facebook. It's pretty local to me. It's like one town over. I went to look at this bike. The guy wants $3,000 for it. He said he would take $1,500 for it. Obviously, it looks better in pictures than it does in person. And we'll go over some of the issues that I saw with this bike. For the most part, it is a rideable bike. It does start. It does run. But they just hacked the piss out of this bike. I don't know what they did to it, but so you can see it doesn't have the original exhaust. Doesn't have the original air cleaner. I don't think that says police on it, does it? Well, I can't tell, but I don't think that's an S&S. I think it was an S&S. It's got a Bakuni carburetor on it. Obviously, this front fender is not original. He said he made that fender. It came out nice. It's a nice looking fender, but it's not an FLH fender. Now, whether this is the original paint, it's hard to say. One thing is, it does have the police saddlebags, which open from the top. They don't open from the side. That's so when you're sitting on the bike, you can reach around back and open the saddlebags without getting off the bike. Let me see, what else does it have? Let me go through some of these pictures. They really just hacked the piss out of this bike. They painted the front end black. Now, they changed everything on this bike, all the LEDs. They changed everything over to LEDs. And they have these load equalizers. I don't know if you could see it. They're right here. These are like load equalizers, and they're all over the bike. There's like 5 under the seat. They just wire tied them up to the spotlight brackets up there. They didn't even try to hide them to do anything. You can see the front forks. They painted the front forks. Yeah, everything is LED on there now. Right. So we go to this side. Yeah, I don't know really about the fairing. Fairing obviously needs to be repainted, but they just went absolutely wild with the black spray paint. They spray painted everything. So you see these highway pegs that are right here. They actually welded those to the frame. So they did tie them in down here where they're supposed to be, but they welded them. They welded them up here somewhere. So you'd have to cut those off the frame to do it. This bike has 109,000 miles on it. So you would definitely need to rebuild this entire motor. And the dash, if you can see up here, I don't know why they did this either, but you can see right here, they relocated the ignition. It should be down here in this area. They relocated it to the inner fairing. I don't know why they did that. And I don't think he ever explained it to me. This is some cheap radio that they put in here, but it does have, if you look up here, and you'll see a better picture of it later, it does have the original police special gauges, which is nice. And if you look here, it has the original hand controls for a police bike. You can see that they have a Dynatech ignition in there. He said the cover broke off. I'm not really sure how that happens, how you break that cover off, because it's kind of almost recessed in to the cam cover there. Again, now supposedly this bike comes with the original exhaust, and it comes with an extra set of cylinders and an extra set of heads. I'm not sure why they did that, why they bought those. Were they anticipating the heads and cylinders on this or shit? I don't know. All right, so you can see the risers. Those are not the right risers that are on there. Everything is kind of rusted up front. You got some things that are disconnected here. I don't know what that is. But they did this weird handlebar thing. There's the back. You can see this light here is blown out. It's gone. Wrong tail lights, wrong turn signals. But it is nice that they have the original police saddlebags, because those are wouldn't say they're hard to find, but they're expensive when you find them. They're about $700 a set when you find them. You could actually part this bike out and probably make more money than you could. We get another side view of this. I mean, I really don't, like I said, when I was talking to this guy, I said, somebody really went to town with the black spray paint. He didn't say anything, so I'm assuming that he did it. But it's just like, you can see how everything is just, it's rusty and it's grimy. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with grime. That can all be taken off, especially if you're the motor is definitely going to have a rebuild, the top and bottom end. With 109,000 miles, it's definitely going to need a bottom end. Now, whether the rods are okay, he started it up. It did sound okay. He says it does need a new clutch. He said he thinks the clutch basket is messed up in it. So I don't know. He bought I think he said he bought a 2021 Road Glide. You can see the highway pegs up here. They're welded up here, which is, I don't really know why you would do that, but find some other highway pegs and to weld them on the frame. There's a little scuff on the bags there, but that can be fixed. The paint overall is fairly good on this bike. Now, whether this is original or not, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I know the fender's not original. He said he made the fender. Came out pretty nice, but it's not an FLH fender. Front end would have to be replaced. I don't know if you could see right here. This is where it's welded, right here to the down tube. Let me see what else. Yeah, pretty, see his rust on the plugs. Right, there's the original speedometer, original gauges, which are nice to have. Now this bike here, I don't know. I mean, you could really just not make it a police bike and make it an FLH and just keep the gauges. I would definitely keep the gauges on this bike. I wouldn't get rid of the gauges. The handlebars would go. Those are not the correct handlebars and risers. And again, I don't know why they relocated the ignition. It's missing this whole piece down here. There should be a cover right here where the ignition goes, and it's missing that whole piece. Let me see what's there. Yeah, rusty front end. That's a lot of that stuff's got to be replaced. It does. A lot of the wiring is intact. I don't think they cut a lot of the wiring, which is pretty good. And I think that's it. Okay, so now the big question: did I buy this bike? No, I didn't buy it. Like I said, he advertised for $3,000. He said the lowest he'd take is $1,500. There is no way you're going to make this into a police bike. Let me show you. I'll show you a picture of actually what a 93 police bike should look like. And there's no way you'd have to have a lot of stuff custom made for that bike, like the lights. I've looked to try to find those pieces. They're just not available. You'd have to have somebody fabricate those pieces. The motor, a complete job on that motor. You're going to have to replace the rods in that motor, more than likely. You're looking at $2,500 easy to rebuild that motor. To do the shovel, the top end on the shovel, just to have the cylinders honed, blasted, new pistons. The heads were cleaned. We didn't have to do new valve guides or valves. That was $1,100 just for that. The lower end, which they really didn't do a whole lot, was split it. They put some new seals in, new bearings in. That was $600. So now you're up to about $1,700 without rods, because the shovel has S&S rods in it. So you're looking at about $2,500 to rebuild that motor, and that's with somebody else, splitting the cases, sandblasting it. You'd have to do all that. Transmission's another thing. With 109,000 miles, that's probably going to have to be rebuilt too. What that would cost, maybe $500 in parts to rebuild that. So you're up to about $4,000, almost $5,000. Now you're going to have the bike painted. Especially the front fender. Front fender, if you left it that pearl white color, if you could match that paint with the fender, you're looking at about $500. Need new wiring harnesses. You're going to have to replace all the lights on the bike and go back to the original style bikes lights and get rid of those stupid LEDs that they've got with all these damn load equalizers. There must have been 8 load equalizers on that bike. They're just everywhere on the bike. So I figured out the cost for that bike outside of the price was going to be about $5,000 to restore that bike to a good looking bike, not even a police bike, a good looking bike. You can forget about the inner dash. That's gone. It's cracked. It's no good. You can't use it. So my thing was, I'm not going to try to turn this into a police bike. I'm going to turn it into a regular FLH. I wanted to keep the police gauges and everything like that on it. Now I looked at 93 FLHTPs. You can get one with about 40 to 50,000 miles on it for $5,000. So it doesn't make any monetary financial sense to buy this bike for $1,500, put $5,000 into it, because now you're at $6,500. When you could buy one with maybe even less miles for $6,000 and not have to go through the whole thing about the work. I might come back to him. Now, I was the only one to actually look at this bike. It was up on Facebook for 3 weeks. He said I was the only one that showed any interest in it. It's a lot of work, especially when you got to shell out $1,500 up front. I might take the bike if he'll do it for $500. That's $1,000 that I can play with. But for $1,500 and to put $5,000 into it, it doesn't make any sense to do that. So I kind of left it on the back burner. I'm really not looking a whole lot for bikes right now because I got to finish the shovel. That's going to be another few weeks away. But if I can find something now to work on this winter, I'll just store it in my trailer for the time being. Because there are some changes to this garage that I have to go through. I'm looking at putting a window over here, then moving my table over for that AC unit that I've got. So there'll be some changes in here, hopefully soon, to the garage. So I'll have to leave whatever bike I find now. I'll have to obviously leave it my trail. I don't have room in here right now. So anyway, that's going to do it for this video. I thought I'd show you this bike that I went to look at. You know, what do you think? Would this be something that you'd spend $1,500 on and restore it, or would you just like he said, he told me it is rideable, but then again he said it needed a new clutch and a new clutch basket. So I don't know how rideable it is. He did start it up. So we're at that point. I'm maybe looking like every 3 or 4 days to see what's online, see what I can find. This is really not the right time of year to buy a bike. Everybody wants ridiculous prices for stuff now because it's starting to come up spring and good riding weather. So the best time to buy a bike is actually in the fall, somewhere around September, October. People want to get rid of them for the winter. They don't want to store them. They don't want to deal with them. So you can get them fairly cheap in the wintertime. But I'll keep looking. You know, maybe I'll find something in another month. Maybe I won't find something till October. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.